My name is Danijel Velicki, and my passion in life is to really give people the ability to understand everything they need to know when it comes to their finances. So I grew up in Zagreb, Croatia. It's the capital. So think about it like DC. My parents worked harder than anybody I know. I learned a lot from both of them teaching me, hey, as long as you do what you say you're going to do, the world is yours. If you mess up and we have to think about what you're doing and not be able to trust you, then things are going to change. I was like, I like the world is yours side rather than things are going to change side. 1991 hit, and I don't know how much people know about Croatia and Serbia and history, and we've been fighting for thousands of years. We all had to go to military. It was mandatory, so the Croatians would be sent to Serbia, Serbians would be sent to Croatia just so they're not close to home serving. So first day of the war, all the Croatian soldiers in Serbia were executed. All the Serbian soldiers in Zagreb and in our cities were right there, encamped and ready to fight. So first 2 years of the war was fighting in a backyard, front yard, any yard, all around us. August 5th was the last day of the war. Peace treaty was signed. I woke up in the morning with all the Croatian national songs playing and celebrations. August 6th was my birthday. I was turning 18. August 11th, I was on a flight to America as a foreign exchange student. The craziest part of the story, and this only happens in America, my host family drove me to a restaurant in Fairmont, West Virginia. That's where I lived. Mr. Rocco owned the restaurant. His dad came from Italy off the boat, started this little tiny restaurant that grew into like the best restaurant in West Virginia. So I walked in and I said, hey, Mr. Rocco, can I speak to you for a couple minutes? And he was like, absolutely, who are you? I was like, well, I'm a kid from Croatia. I don't have any money. I really want to stay in America. We just finished the war. I'm a 4.0 student. Here's my transcripts, my acceptance letters to WVU and Fairmont State University and all kinds of places. And I said, I would like for you to consider sponsoring me, giving me a job, paying for my school, and I'll pay you back with everything I earn at your place. And this man sat there for about 10 seconds and looked at me and said, okay. I'll tell him always how thankful I am for him. He always says the same thing, but he didn't do anything. But he put all the paperwork together, somehow got in-state tuition into college, graduated. Thankfully met my wife at the restaurant as well. So we really owe a lot to this place. Got out of college and wanted to get into finance and actually hated it just because he was hard sales. I had a different vision of what it was going to be like compared to what the reality was. Melissa was a teacher. We moved to Virginia Beach and actually played basketball at a church at 5 o'clock in the morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And there was a guy, I forget him, Ryan, who came up to me and was like, hey man, we got along really well. I'd love to tell you what I do, maybe take you out to lunch. And he was a financial advisor, a financial planner. And I said, you know what, I got my finance degree. I tried all that stuff, interviewed all kinds of companies. I'm good. And he was like, no, we were different. I liked them, so went to lunch. And he took me to this process that taught me so much. And I was like, this is what I thought finance was gonna be, but I never knew it existed. So I begged and begged, and there was this lady, Debbie, who was the HR representative for them. She was like, okay, we'll give you a shot. She went to the bosses and was like, this kid has got heart, like he doesn't want to run away. I really got lucky to come across incredible people, from Morocco to give me a shot to stay here, from Ryan to talk to me and tell me about this fantastic company and the work that they were doing. Debbie betting on me where nobody else would. So I just felt like, hey, this is something that's dear and near to my heart that I really want to help. And my business grew exponentially just because if you ask anybody, I believe that they will tell you that they know that I'm there to help them rather than sell them something. That's what I found to be the passion of my life, is to be able to teach, and that hug from a person when they get it and when you're part of their life and part of their story and part of that final some kind of vision at the end. That's like the best payment ever. One of my best friends, his name is John, he's a surgeon, one of the best people you'll ever meet. And he was my client. That's how we met. He was here in our area. He was the head of surgery department, and he loved work more than anybody I ever met. He loved it as much as I loved what I do. And constantly and consistently, we talked about the fact that we do the same thing and we're passionate about the same thing, just a different product. He helps people by way of fixing their health, fixing their issues, surgery, all that stuff. He always called me his brain surgeon. He's like, you're the guy that I call when I'm thinking about anything about my kids, anything about my money, about my future, about my houses, cars, like everything. Because that's, if I don't know it, I know somebody that knows it, and I'm able to help and bring that information. It's not about the product, it's about life, right? So our tagline was, it's a symphony of money and life. So we had this conversation because he was considering taking a job as running a hospital compared to being a surgeon. And I was like, John, how are you going to do this? Like, you love surgery. And he was like, I had this internal conversation with me for a few months, but what you and I share is this love of the hug. It was like, we love when people get better, when people leave your office like I do. Every time I feel better about my future, about my situation, about what I'm doing, and knowing that there's vision at the end, that there's peace and light. It was like same thing when I go to talk to my patients. I know that I've given them more time and I've given them better life and I've fixed this problem, and I love that hug. It was like, but another similarity that you and I have is that we do it one person at a time. When you're sitting in front of me or sitting in front of one of my referrals or one of your clients, it's one-on-one, and we can only touch so many people one-on-one compared to a whole bunch. It was like it's very limiting because it's all based on our time. It was like, now I get to run a hospital. It was like I get to impact the quality, the care, all the departments, all the physicians, all the support. And if I increase that quality and output, I'm touching thousands of people at a time because they get this thing that I was able to improve for them. It was like, now it's not just me one-on-one, it's me, thousands of people. And I feel that I can impact in a community rather than just one life. I just started feeling confused and really frustrated by the system that we have in place that's based on somebody selling something when it comes to anything financial. And people not feeling like they're in control of their own decisions because their decisions are made on not enough information. I'm talking about Yale MDs and NASA scientists and MIT grads that are looking at me going, I don't know any of this stuff. So through my education process, I was able to educate a lot of people, but it was one-on-one. So I started feeling frustrated, like people need more of this, but they're just not getting it. They don't know where to go. They feel lost. And then even my most intelligent, most successful, the brightest people that I deal with, they get to a point in their life where they feel ashamed because they feel like they should know, and then they don't. And then it's just, you get that, well, everything's going to be okay, I just don't think about it situation, because they feel like they don't want to go to ask questions that they think they should know already. So they just kind of get into this analysis paralysis and they don't do anything, which is the worst. I mean, there's so much crap, but you have to talk to 7 different people to get the 7 different answers, and then depending on who you talk to and what kind of person you're talking to, depends on what they're trying to sell you. And it's a very flawed kind of situation. So I started thinking about that and started developing curriculum that would be really putting people in a position where they can learn in a safe environment. And the number one place that I started thinking about was employees. PricewaterhouseCoopers does an amazing survey every year with all their clients that they take care of how much money businesses and employers are losing because of the employees' inability to deal with their everyday financial stuff. So you're talking about absenteeism, focus, efficiency at work. I mean, it's hours and upon hours that they're losing because of people having to deal with stuff that they're not comfortable with and bringing stress and low efficiency. So that's where IFA was started. IFA is Inside Financial Academy. It's really a educational platform benefit that employers can give to their employees to make them better people, not just employees, to really impact through financial literacy every part of their life outside of work. But we know that the person that's great outside of work becomes the best employee. So I want to help those employees to have better lives outside and then employers can get the most out of their employees' happiness, satisfaction at the job site. All those things are consequences of that great educational platform. It was great. We started performing, and people saw so much value in it because it was extremely beneficial and extremely educational with no sale behind it. That's the big thing. There's no cash, there's no sale. But the surveys that we got back, people started going, okay, this is awesome, but how do we have this for our parents, for our kids, for our husbands, for our wives, for our friends? Because this is pretty much in a vacuum of an employer at work. And on a flight back from Wisconsin, we were performing at a company out there. I emailed the team and I said, listen, we have to build something that's a all-reaching platform that anybody can get this information with no sale, with no catch, but just pure empowerment, really equipping people to make the decisions that they have to make when the decisions come about. And that's where Sqwire was born. Sqwire is a platform that provides financial literacy without any gimmicks, sales, hidden agendas, to really give people ability to have a partner in their life when it comes to the decision making.